Yeah. Explain me what are the different layers in the VFX picture. If some VFX picture or movie part need to come out, what are who are the different people are involved, and what are the different stages it happens?
Okay, so usually this is a general kind of outline of how the process of how you go from shooting a video to the final image of the VFX. Obviously, it can change a little based on your specific thing. Like, if sometimes you might have full CG only, no VFX, everything's fake, or sometimes you might have match moving, like you have to track the motion of people like that. So that's different. But this is the general thing that happens. So first you have your director and art director, right? Art director is responsible to make sure how the set is designed, right? Because he knows how CGI and VFX works, right? So he knows where you need green screens, where you need wires, right? And stunt performers will also work in conjunction with them to make sure the actors can move and function properly. So once these two collaborate, right? Let's say you're making a CGI alien, right? The director and art director will ask the concept artist to kind of make a 2D sketch of a really detailed 2D sketch of an alien, and it'll go to multiple iterations. And once they find one that they like a lot, they'll accept it, and the concept artist will send it to the modeler.
In the concept artist also will do 3D or only 2D?
He does only 2D. He's
Okay.
just doing 2D from different perspectives.
Mhm.
And multiple iterations, multiple looks for the alien and stuff.
Okay.
Okay? Then he passes it on to the modeler slash sculptor. They're in charge of making the 3D model in 3D space, with 3D geometry and stuff. So sculptor, they take over projects like aliens, any organic like animals, anything like that. Modelers, they do more like building, architecture, cars, something like that. Sometimes they can, work in conjunction for spaceships or whatever. And FX artists, they work similar to that. If you ever see destruction, tsunamis, explosions, they're the ones who make sure everything breaks a certain way because wood breaks differently than metal. Then texturists, they're the ones who are responsible to making sure everything looks realistic, right? Like in a real photo. Because in CG, if you make something brown, it's just plain brown. But in real life, it's not. You have like certain bumps, you have rust, you have like wear on the edges, you have smudges, all of that. They're responsible to apply all of those. The lighter, what they do is they take a 360 HDRI, it's called HDRI. They take a 360 image of the set they're in or the place they're in, so that they can apply it on the CGI object, if I have a fake cabinet, so that the light direction and the shadows and how bright the light is, the intensity, all of that is the same on the CGI one as it is on the real one. So it looks like it's part of the scene. Then the match mover, right? He makes sure that the object's movement is the same as real life, because if your camera's moving or rotating, right, it's going to essentially VFX is just taking your CG layer, putting it on top of your video layer. So it's going to look like it's hovering. So he tracks points to make sure that like the object turns and its perspective changes the same as the video, right? So it looks like it's actually part of the video. Then the rotoscoper and the chroma keyer works in conjunction. Chroma keyer, what they do is like if you have a green screen, right? If you want to replace the background, right? Then you might want to they're the ones who make sure like the green screen parts are completely gone, you don't see it. The edges look nice and sharp, right? If you have a good chroma keyer, that's what makes VFX videos often look good, right? You don't see the fake like greenness around. Rotoscoper is also kind of like that. They're in charge of making sure if you have a stunt with the wires and stuff, they're in charge of removing those or any like unnecessary things in the movie. But if you want to replace a hand, but the hand is still in the image, they're in charge of making sure the background is clean and looks like there is no hand.
Okay.
Right? Removing layers basically. And then the compositor, right? He's kind of works in conjunction with the rotoscoper. Sometimes you might just have a compositor straight up instead of rotoscoper. He's in charge of making sure all the layers come together properly. Okay? Like, let's say I want like a robotic finger, right? I would have to make sure the parts where I don't want the finger to be, I have to add that on top of exactly where my finger is, right? Then I have to add the finger on top. Then I have to make sure the color matches, the position matches, all of that. Right, just stacking the layers in. Then you have the colorist. The colorist works in conjunction with the director heavily, because the director decides what mood they want to be, the mood of the video. So the colorist makes sure, you know, like if it wants to feel like odd or strange, right? They make it a little green, right? If the exposure is not correct, right? If everything's too bright in the video, then they make sure they bring it down, make the dark parts maybe darker to make it like a really dark, like sad scene or whatever, like that. And they also work in conjunction with the compositor, because the compositor has to make sure the CGI and stuff, the color of the CGI is the same as the mood of the video. And that's basically the entire workflow.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Vihan.